Hi, my name is Devin Bush. I work for a company called Nigel Mulgrew Plumbing in San Francisco, California, where we service high-end installations for some pretty affluent customers and stuff like that. Um, Ply has been absolutely instrumental in kind of developing our service side for the type of business that we do. We have a pretty small service team, and as a result, we need to be pretty efficient and effective with all of the different types of work that we do. One of the biggest things that Ply has done for us is to basically save us countless and countless of hours worth of time, because one of the biggest problems that we were running into was having somebody like a plumber going out to go buy a fitting that maybe costs $2.50, but with about an hour to an hour and a half worth of time of the plumber going back and forth, that $2.50 plumbing fitting that now costs $150 worth of time and energy and effort. And it's drastically cut down to the tune of anywhere from 30 to even 40% of those downtimes. And even probably even more so just in the expediency and the efficiency that we have within our system. It's been fantastic. One of the biggest challenges that we faced prior to implementing Ply is just we didn't have everything kind of centralized and organized. It was all dependent upon having the technician go from one place to another to go pick up specific parts and equipment and things like that. And one of the things that was pretty frequently happening as working in San Francisco is not being able to find parking. So that just adds to the time. As well as overbuying. That was a big thing, as people would go and they need 5 for a job, but then they'd buy 6 or 7. But then that 6 or 7 gets kind of lost in a van somewhere, and we can't accurately bill for everything. So Ply has been pretty good about being able to handle those challenges. A big reason why we decided to try Ply is it was really cost effective right out of the gate. We figured, hey, let's try it for a month or two and give it on the price point for what we were looking for. It was, hey, if we don't like it, it's really not a whole lot. At least we're moving kind of in a direction forward. And we utilized ServiceTitan, and we figured anything was going to be a little bit simpler. And then the fact that they had that kind of integration, it just made all of the cards kind of aligned and made the decision that much easier. Ply has severely impacted our business in all the best ways. It's reduced our kind of travel expenses for having plumbers to go from place to place. With the purchase order system, we are able to, even if we have to have a plumber head over to a supply house because it just logistically makes more sense, using the purchase order system, we can call ahead, we can get that all things, set up in stone and kind of in writing, and all they have to do is pick it up and then they leave. They don't have to worry about, finding the specific parts or, having to worry about a bunch of other things. They can just kind of get in and get out. In regards to the amount of time, hours and hours. We, like I said earlier before, probably somewhere between 30 to 40% increase in efficiency, which has just reduced the amount of time. The other thing that we've been able to do is expand from maybe 1 or 2 jobs a day to 2 or 3 jobs a day, and in some cases even 4 jobs a day, because we can, with some pretty good certainty, say that yes, my guy has everything in that van that he needs, and all you need to do is just sign the estimate and we're ready to rock and roll. One specific example that Ply's been able to help is to just get everything a little bit more structured and a little bit more ordered. One of the biggest things with the purchase ordering system is probably my favorite thing that they have in there, is that we can set up a purchase order that's fairly large. We can print it out, we can take our time, we can dissect it, and be able to accurately go, okay, yes, no on these different parts. And so like one specific example is like as we're building out one vehicle, we can kind of copy paste that purchase order into the next vehicle And before we ever even send it out to our suppliers, we can evaluate and we can go, okay, so this is, X dollars amount worth of inventory. Does that make sense for this technician? And in some cases, yes, in some cases, no. One of the things that we're able to do is be a little bit more intentional with our purchasing power, and we can adjust things on the fly where, we're starting to make some of these adjustments to have, more specialty service plumbers and maybe a little bit more drain clearing and, rotate, turn and burn kind of plumbers. And having that kind of information of like what sells the best, what types of jobs we do the most, it just helps us use our money that much more effectively. The experience in setting everything up was fantastic. We had I guess they're called success managers, Ben. He was there pretty much every single step of the way. We had regular meetings once a week. Even beyond that scope, we were able to send communication back and forth to make sure that everything was rocking and rolling. And that was pretty much the number one thing was communication. That's the thing that I value the most. I can learn and work around anything that I need to, as long as the communication is there. And to that same effect is that if I have a problem or if I have a question, I can utilize their chat system and pretty much speak to a human within minutes. And by the end of that chat session, either my questions are answered, something is being worked on or discovered, or a ticket has been issued. And within, I think the longest I've waited is maybe a week for an issue to be resolved, and it's just been fantastic, and I really love that. If I had to use a few words to describe Ply, I'd probably say your warehouse assistant, like your logistics assistant, or whatever phrase or terminology that you want to use for that portion of it. But it tells you and tracks everything so that you don't have to necessarily go out and count every single day or every single week or every single month or whatever. You have that rough count, and then on a regular basis, you can just kind of adjust and tweak as needed. And it's a lifesaver, like truly.